And so there got to be some rooms for rehabilitation. It's got to be in the ER. There's got to be some areas where we take blood pressure, do blood pressure rooms where we triage. Is that what they call it? When they take you in, they triage you. And so I got an area that the Lord told me, and I think I was talking to Mother Jackson somewhere around 4:51 this morning, and and she asked me, she says, I was already in Strive this morning, and so there's some things that I want to talk to us about, and I want to talk tonight about a concept that's really difficult for many of us, and some of us struggle with this, and we're going to be over a period of teaching for a little while on this because it's a weighty matter. So we're going to talk about how to let go and how to put things behind us. And somebody said, "Well, Lord have mercy." And he would want to talk about it this night in Bible study. But many people struggle and hold on to things and never let them go. You petty Betty, you petty Brad. You hold on to things. You still harboring things. And so the truth of the matter is the sentence of carrying the burden of what you are is heavy. Junk in your trunk, stuff on your mind, feelings of hurt and rejection, they are weighty. And despite what you say, that nobody likes carrying extra weight. Let me tell you something. One of the things that oftentimes we going somewhere, I give Vickie my cup, and she want to pass the cup back to me. She said, "I don't want to carry all that." Or sometimes she will ask me. She said, "Baby, hand me my bag." Now, anybody know anything about my wife? Her bags are extremely heavy. She's the bag lady. She loves multiple bags. She got books. She got stuff. She got a pocketbook and a bag. She's doing better now, but she had a pocketbook and a bag, and they are always weighty. And so she'll want to leave it in the car. I said, "Well, I don't know how to bust the windows out of the car thinking that you got $1 million in that bag." We don't like carrying luggage. We don't like carrying everything. I'm one of those kind of people, I like to check my luggage because I don't want to tote it through the airport. I don't want to drag it from one area. I know some of y'all want to, when y'all get off the plane, you just want to walk out. Well, with me, I don't like luggage. I don't like toting luggage. And the truth of the matter is, it is a natural aspect of us not to want to tote luggage. How many of y'all remember going to back? So let's go back home. Let's go back in the day. If I go back in the day, 38 years ago, there's this little lady named Vanetta Jackson, and we used to have a little red wagon. We used to go to Washamat and wash our clothes, and we would take the clothes to Daphne to the Washamat in a little red wagon. You know, my mama eventually got a car when that red wagon broke, because that meant you had to tote those things, because nobody likes holding on the baggage. Actually, it's a biblical thing that one of the curses that comes along with of murdering somebody is that you have to walk around with their carcass on your body, attached to it. You hold their carcass. Nobody likes baggage. But unforgiveness, anger, malice, pissed offness, you name it, is all baggage. Obviously, you don't like baggage, but why do you have it? The question is, if this thing is so bad, why do you have it? You don't want to be pissed with your mama. You don't want to be pissed with your husband. You don't want to really walk around with unforgiveness, remembering when he texts somebody he shouldn't have texted, or she calls somebody she shouldn't have, or when she didn't fix your meal right, or they didn't invite you to the family party. Do you really want to walk around pissed all the days of your life with a chip on your shoulder? Because no one likes baggage. I can tell tonight I must be in something, because y'all looking at me crazy tonight like, Lord have mercy. But I'm so glad that my prescription work and I can look past you. All right, on these magnifying glasses. So let's deal with this tonight. So we want to deal with one of the things when you deal with this is that you must first recognize you need to let go of things. Okay, acknowledge that you hold past hurt, failure, regrets, hinder spiritual growth and peace. And so when you harbor stuff, sometimes it's failure. Sometimes you tried it and it didn't work. And so it stops you from trying new things because you was like, remember, I tried that and it didn't work. I mean, I tried. It just didn't work. I ain't doing that again. You tried relationships. You tried starting back to school. You started trying to start a business. You started trying to be friends. You started trying to build relationships with people. You started trying to loan somebody some money. They ain't pay you back. You got a bad taste in your mouth about a lot of things because you're holding on to the luggage, the baggage that come along with it. You must first acknowledge, well, I just don't do such and such. Well, why don't you do such and such? You don't do such and such because you're holding on some luggage. I don't date women with children. Well, why? Well, I don't do light skinned men. Why? I don't do pretty men. I don't. She too sexy. She too fine. I give me an ugly woman. Why do you say those kinds of things? Why do we make those kind of statements? Y'all know I'm coming through here now. Y'all, I'm coming through here and ready. I ain't here to be your friend. I'm here to be your pastor. So why do we make those statements? They are usually based upon an erroneous or a factual experience that we had that left us scarred. I don't do my family like that. I go to the thing, but as soon as it's over, I'm out of there. Man, I don't do them like that. So it's so much drama. They drama it out. So what we oftentimes do, Daphne, is that we carry what I call baggage. Hold on to hurt, failure, regret. All of these things hinder our growth and our peace. So let's stop there for just a minute. That junk messes with your spiritual growth. You jumping, you saying, God, take me up higher. Lord, I want to love you more. I'm going to church. I want to be more in you. Well, you can't because you got all this baggage. You trying to go up higher heights in God, but you got all of this stuff on you. All of this failure. I tried that. It didn't work. I tried being a sweet wife, but the man I'm married to, Jesus Christ, that pumpernickel bread lady over there. So we deal with issues that are within us that we try. So the first step is to acknowledge we got a problem. You know, what I found out is that many of us live in the place of denial. We deny it. Oh, I'm good. It ain't that bad. You know, one of the things of Alcoholics Anonymous when going through training and doing the classes and helping people train for it, guess what? There's something that every alcoholic says, I can stop at any time. Every drug addict says it. Every weed head says, I can stop. I just smoke it because I ain't got nothing else to do. I can stop at any time. Every alcoholic says, I can stop drinking at any time. I just do it. I can stop any time. Every binge eater say, I can eat right food. I just don't do it. Every hoe says, I ain't got a hoe. I can stop hoeing at any time. You're addicted to it. I can stop at any time. See, what we do is that we live a life of denial. And we assume that we can stop and start when we really, all we know how to do is start and not stop. Because it controls us rather than us control it. But one of the deceptions of the devil, watch this, is to make you think you in charge. Let me tell you something. A good woman that runs you can make you think that you king, when really she running the show. She let you walk around there. She already planted the thought in your head. Then rub your head. Well, you know what? We need some blinds, you know. And, we need to get some blinds. But I know you probably can't afford it, and everything. Like the other people in the neighborhood, like they got blinds. What do you mean you can't afford it? I can get some blinds in here. I can get some designer. And next thing you know, you calling the designer blind man to measure out for blinds. Because ready, watch this now. The art of control and manipulation is what the devil does. Is to make you think and make you think that you're in charge. I can stop at any time. I just drank man, I ain't got to drink. Man, I went 3 days without drinking and smoking. 3 days. That's the point I'm making. It almost sounds like it's a long time. And it really ain't. I have power over masturbation. Did I say it? Yeah, I said it. What's that little egg or what's that thing they use, the little rabbit or whatever? What's the thing? Ain't nobody saying the names, okay. Rose. Okay. So what? So I got to teach it because I want you to understand. What starts happening is, ready? It is controlling you rather than you controlling it. And so you got to be careful of things that control you. But one of the tricks of the enemy is to make you think you're in charge. And how you know you feel like you're in charge, you start saying stuff, I can stop at any time. But you never stop. I stop smoking. I just do it. Then stop. And watch how long you stop. Do you stop till you get angry? Do you stop till you get horny? Do you stop till you get frustrated? You stop till you're bored? How long you stop? A stop per day? Stop a half a day? Stop 3 days? How long do you stop? The key is to acknowledge, watch this, I must acknowledge. Tell someone, I must acknowledge that I have baggage that I have to let go. He said, I would not have you ignorant of the devices of the devil. You got to recognize what Satan is doing. You got to recognize that he is, watch this, he's taking over. Now, he's scheming now. He's a schemer. Okay? You ain't the first one that he tried to scheme on, so let me help you. He got Yeshua and said to him, cast yourself down. Won't you eat some bread? I mean, he tried to run game on the Son of God. So if he tried to run game on the Son of God, what you think he's going to try to do with you? You are not immune to the attack. You are immune to the prosperity of it when you stand fortified with biblical principles and the word of God. Because Jesus said, watch this, it is written. His attack to the attack of the enemy was the word of God. Now watch this. He was the ultimate example. But how did he react? How did he attack Satan back? With the word. He had power in his hand to snap the devil's neck. But his response, Daphne, was, "It is written." Tell somebody, say, the power that you got is not in your hand, it's in your mouth. If you ever understand, the power of life and death lies in the tongue. The power to correct your future is in your tongue. The power to command your destiny is in your tongue. The power to order your steps. The power to change the way your life runs, your health condition. Listen to me. I was having some complications. The other day I was coming home. I've been very weak and everything, and having some weakness and stuff like this, and just trying to figure this whole thing out. And I've not felt, I didn't feel right ever since I had a scope, endoscope, colonoscopy, or what's it called. I ain't felt right ever since I did the workup for it. You know, the stuff prep. I ain't felt right, and so I felt weak. I've been feeling weak, and at nighttime, around 9 o'clock. My body just starts shutting down. I do get up in the wee hours of the morning. I'm up about 3 o'clock every morning. I'm praying and calling y'all name 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. That devil's ears ought to be burning about y'all life about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. My wife just stay away from me because I get loud. I get loud. I turn up my worship and my and I go in about that time of the morning. I wait about 5-ish, and I start to try to call my mama. I don't try to bother her when I get up at 3:30. Sometimes I get up at 2:30, and I just start warring. So I'm driving, and yesterday I went to dinner and a consulting appointment with the pastor. I was waiting here for Noah and him to do something, and it didn't work out. And I was waiting on him, and he was taking forever, and then he let me know, and so I was like, oh, God. And I was drained. I was like, because I needed to get a little nap, but he had somebody coming, and I didn't want to be sleeping when they came and all that kind of stuff. So I ain't have my power nap. And so I'm on the way going, and I made it through this meeting with this pastor, and I enjoyed helping him and giving insight. But afterwards, I said, oh, God, I got to drive home. Now, mind you, I'm at the airport. I'm at Outback. You know, I have this thing. If you're going to get my consultant, you have to, 2 things you got to do is pay me and you got to feed me. And you got to eat at places I want to eat. I mean, no free advice. You're going to pay for it one way or the other. You're going to feed me, okay? I need a meal. Tell my pastor, I want to talk to you. Take me somewhere to get something to eat. And I ain't going to Burger King. Okay? Because you got to invest in your own change. Stop wanting freebies on everything. You got to invest in you. Let me tell you a true statement. When I wanted to be able to do things better, I took successful people to lunch. Back in the day, it was Morton's and it was a Chart House. Now, I ain't never had that Ruth Chris money back in those days. Sometimes it was a half of a salary, almost a bag boy salary, to take somebody that was influential to lunch. Because I wanted to pick their brain. I invested in my future so that I could have a return. There's a fixed law in life called reciprocity. If you get it for free, free won't give you any return. I'm going to say it again. There's a fixed law of reciprocity. If you get it for free, it won't return. You don't believe me? Let me help you. When David had made a mistake and he had to go buy the threshing floor, and the man said, you the king, I want to just give you the threshing floor so you can offer it up to God. He said, I cannot offer to God what has not cost me anything. Because there's a fixed law, watch this, the law of reciprocity. You don't, man, I just be trying to hustle, get it when I can get it. And that's why you got all the information and you hustle to everybody, but your hustle stuff ain't going nowhere. Because you have not paid the price to have the goods. It's the fixed law of reciprocity. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. Because you didn't sow it, you can't reap it. You trying to reap where you ain't sowed, and wonder why you got it, but it ain't working for you. It'll never work for you because you ain't putting no seed in the ground for it to give you have an illegal return on something that you've never invested in. Oh, I'm teaching deeper than you reaching. Okay, and you ain't got to like it, but it's just the truth anyhow. I invested where I was going. Tell somebody, say you got to invest where you're going. So I took them to lunch. I learned as much as I could so that I would be in position to change my destiny and my life. Many of you are benefiting from an investment that I invested in other people. You got to sow for where you're going. Getting back to this, we must understand that I must acknowledge where I am. Okay. Isaiah 43, 18 and 19. Someone get it. Daphne get Ecclesiastes chapter number 3, verse 1. Isaiah 43, 18 through 19. Yes. Say it again. Wait. So we got to deal with this. Sometimes we are so busy, forget. The scripture says, in order to do this, you got to forget. You got to walk away. You got to turn away from the former thing. Many of you are so busy living in the place of the former. Why your relationship can't go any further? Because you keep reminding them of what they did. And all reminding ain't verbal. Sometimes it's subliminal. Okay, let me deal with that. Where you finna go? All right. Okay there. Okay, okay, Vickie. Okay, Jason. Okay, Lewis. You ain't said it. It's subliminal. Stop holding people hostage to yesterday. Because you'll never be free in your day holding them hostage to your yesterday. Your relationship will never go where it needs to go as long as you're holding the baggage of yesteryear. Now watch this. Because you forget it, didn't mean that it didn't happen. You make a decision. Tell somebody, say you must decide. But you can't decide to forget if it didn't exist. So you must acknowledge that it exists and decide, I am not going to continue. I'm going to forget. I'm going to hide it from myself. Now, how do I hide it from myself? I put it in a place I don't see it. I stop going back to it. I stopped reading the email that you sent me, the text when you said you was breaking up with me. I delete the pictures when I screenshot and I caught you doing what you was doing. I kill it. I die to the way I was once thinking. I forget the former things. Tell somebody, say, you got to forget. Stop looking at them pictures of the ex-boo, or the new boo, or the kind of boo, or the boo-hoo, or the Merry Christmas, the ho-ho-ho. Read. Wait. He said, go back and whip that text a little bit more. Go back. Go back to 18. Don't even consider. Wait. See, remembering and considering it is, watch this. Tell somebody considering. You keep reminiscing. You got to train your mind how not to go back there. I'm going to say that thing again. You got to train your mind. Remember the time I paid your light bill and you ain't never helped me out? Remember the time I stayed with you and how you ain't give me my part? Remember the time? Remember when we had family reunion? Remember when you went to get a pack of cigarettes that never came back? Remember? It says, remember not the what? And then what? Tell somebody, say, consider what? Ooh, tell somebody, said, I cannot live in my now, utilizing my yesteryear to determine my now and stay in peace. If you allow the filter of what happened to you to affect every decision you make and every determination that happens in your life, you'll never have peace. You just won't have peace. You have something, but you won't have peace. And ready? Peace will run from you. You'll be happy one minute and sad the next. You'll be doing good one minute and then pissed the next minute. It'll be up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. You look like you Mr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, like you bipolar. I love you, I hate you. I love you, I hate you. I love you, I hate you. I trust you, I can't trust you. I can't trust you no further than I throw you. Hey, baby, you special. I wish I never met you. I'm so glad I'm with you. What is that? Gemini. It says, consider not the things of old. Stop adding them in your equations. If you can't give them a fresh start, forget them and move on. Because if you're going to let them stay, you got to give them a fresh start. If you can't push fresh, push goodbye. But the problem is you want your cake and icing too. God, I'm teaching better than you reaching tonight. Keep going.
Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth.
Wait, God said I want to do a what?
A new thing.
But you want to stay with the old thing. Why we stay with the old things? Because it's familiar. Even if it hurt, I know the hurt. So, now, this is what God, I have to distinguish when God works with me, because I have a habit. And one of my habits, this is a personal habit, I don't like new people and new things. I keep hold of the old things that I've always, let me help you. I go to the same restaurant. I can eat the same thing on the menu every single day. I'm so that they have my meal when they see my car pulling up. They already put it on the grill because they already know what I want. All the way down to how I want everything. I want vegan eggs with protein mix added to them, and I want slight vanilla in them, and I want the seasoning and the mushrooms to go in them. I am a creature of habit. Thad was with me, and I went and that was before I was a vegan. I went to the same place. You can believe it or not, Longhorns was what we was gonna eat every single day for lunch, and I was gonna get the same thing every single day. It's to the point that Noah said, I ain't going out to dinner with you after church on Sunday unless you switch up. Because already I'm an Outback person. I'm going to Outback every single Sunday. Same place. would love to sit in the same seat. Kind of get a little pissed when they don't have the same seat together for me that I always sit in. Because you know what? My trainer, why he's my trainer, because he used to be my trainer. He was my old trainer. No matter, let me just tell you this. It don't matter who comes around, because Noah been with me. He the old thing. Ready? I'm going to deal with the people that I know. New people got to last to be the old thing. And then when they the old thing and somebody new come around, I lean to the old thing and not the new thing. There are some people that come in your life and they try to be instant what took time to make. And half of you make mistakes because you switch to the instant rather. Sometimes you need some potatoes that's been whipped, been cut up and blended right. These old instant potatoes, and you wonder why the food don't have the same grit to it and don't give the same nutrients to it because they instant. You need some potatoes that's been squished and made and buttered and developed. Now watch this. Now that's a great aspect, but watch this. God says, I want to do a new thing. You got to be willing to adjust to the newness of God because God oftentimes invites us to new relationships and new things. But the problem with us is that we are familiar with the old. Even if the old hurt us, we'll take the old hurt. And guess what? I got a restaurant that I like. My wife can't stand it. She said they could be cleaner. They could do this better. They could do this better. She got a whatchamacallit. But I'm familiar with it. I know them. She said, I'll go with you just because you want me to go. And she just sat there and folded her arms. So watch this. Sometimes even abuse, we're familiar with it. And we get comfortable with what ain't good for us. We get comfortable with a posture. Sometimes we're self-abusive to each other. I abuse you, you abuse me. It's just how we roll. You say something nasty to me, I say something nasty to you. You cuss me, I cuss you. But we love each other. Figure. It's unhealthy. Sometimes we have unhealthy relationships that we've galvanized, but we've done it so long, we don't want to switch. And what's crazy is the abuser and the abusee been each other so long, and they always talk about quitting on each other, but they never do. So what he says.
Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert.
God says, what I want to do for you in your life is I want to cause where there's been a drought, if you trust me, I'll make rivers in the desert. I'll make the crooked path straight. I'll make the difficult thing together. But you got to be willing to trust me. Now, are you ready? How do I make a dry place wet? Go 18. See, the problem is you can't get to the new thing. Because he said, I won't give you the new thing until you forget the former. See, you keep praying for the new thing and wondering why the new thing ain't came. Because guess what? The new thing can't get in because the old thing is still there. He says, I'm going to make it so that I'm going to create springs in your desert. He said, I know it's dry. It ain't nobody on your row has ever seen it, but I'm going to do it before your eyes, and I'm going to make it happen. But, Reverend, how? Because you going to forget the former, and you going to stop using what happened to you to be a gauge to determine how you function. As you experience that healing, this is what he says. Oh, okay, I got you. Okay. He said, now that you've done that, give it to me 19. Tell me again. I need that to marinate. And he said, watch it now. Now, see, you got to get to the behold part. Watch this. Because before, you were consumed with looking through the filter, the glasses of what happened to you. And then he uses the term, behold. Look now. Take in. Behold. He said, change your eyes. Change your looking. Change how you go about it. Change how you see it. One of the hardest things is that you see people the way you've always seen them, and then God is trying to give you a new optical perspective concerning things, but you're so bent at seeing it the way you're familiar with. Sometimes God is doing a new thing right before your eyes, but you're so stuck in the old thing that you can't see the new thing that God is doing before your eyes. It's something about this relationship. I'm telling you, my behind get beat all the time, Noah. God whoops up. Let me tell you something. I'm going to help y'all understand something. Some of y'all be getting pissed with pastor and upset with me, and y'all think y'all need to straighten me. I'm going to tell you what you need to do. Hit your knees. Because can't nobody beat me like God beats me. He just drags me. I mean, he just dragged me. So the Lord's been dealing with me about something, and he's been telling me to do something. And one of the things the Lord told me, he says, you won't do these things, these specific things. I said, well, well, Lord, I got to make sure the church is okay. So I can't do those things. He said, so you got to make sure my church is okay? You got to make sure you got to make sure my wife is okay? So you got to make sure my bride is okay. So you won't buy a car because you got to make sure the bride is okay. Mine. He said what it is that you don't trust me that I'll supply your needs. So my problem with you is you ain't trusting me. It ain't an act of being financially conservative. It's an act of your faith. I said, ooh. So he says, I'm going to cut it down so you can't do both. Point number 2. This morning at 4:50, Noah, the Lord began to talk to me. And he told me to do something. And Thaddeus, I said, okay, God, you want me to do that, but I don't know if I want to do that because I don't know if it's you really. I want to make sure, I don't want to be out here on no live, doing stuff. See, let me tell you something. When you did it when you was young, you was impetuous. When you make mistakes and you're an old fool. I ain't trying to be no old fool. When you're young, they give you a pass. They say you was full of energy, you was impetuous and excited. When you get out here and you do it and you're doing these moves, they call you an old fool. Ain't no fool like an old fool. When I see an old man with an old 19-year-old girl and he's 70 years old, I look and say, you're an old fool. And so watch this. So I'm at this point, and the Lord tells me to do something this morning. And so I decide I want to wheel and deal with God. And I said, Lord, if you want me to do this, you'll cause this person to give me $2,500. Then I know I need to go this way. and somebody else will give me $5,000, it'll let me know I need to go that way. Because, it's a fleece where you get God. He said, you've been knowing me too long to play them kind of games with me. I will not. In other words, he said, hustle somebody else. Don't try to hustle me. And then he said, drive. I'm driving down the road. And he says, that's your answer. I said, okay, God, I see it. It makes sense. I got it. Now he said, pick up the phone and call the person and tell them you're going to help them. Now. I pick up the phone. I call him. I tell him. And this afternoon, he tells me, pick up the phone and call who I told you to call before. And they look at me and tell me, I just got your name out my mouth. I said, because I'm a praying man, I hear from God. And they said, I believe that to be true. And then the second statement they said is, if you're ready to deal, I'm ready to deal. How would you like to do this? Do you understand that God is already there? He's just waiting on you to show up. He wants to give you a river in a desert. But he needs your obedience. Tell somebody there are no dry places. There are simply only unforgiven places. When the forgiven places come, the wet places come. You can't let it go and him not supply. He will always supply if you let it go. I came up in the old church and they says you can't beat God's giving no matter how hard you try. The more you give, if you give it up, he'll do something new. He God like that. Tell somebody, say, he just God like that. He throw his weight around like that. Tonight, hopefully you have understood the word of God. My clock is my enemy tonight. Thanks for coming to the bishop's table. Hopefully the wisdom that we share here is transformative. Because my goal is to help you see you, or to see what God would want in your life. You're not perfect, and neither am I. Oh, but we serve an amazing God. That God got a plan for your life. And no matter where it is, it must be fulfilled. Daddy, thank you. Thank you for coming and sitting with us. Thank you for talking through me. Sometimes I feel so inadequate. I feel like there is so much more to be said. But in complete honesty, I thank you that you allowed me to be on the team. Now over these people. Breathe new life into them. Let them fulfill the assignment that you placed upon their lives. Let them be who you called them to be. I declare new doors are opening and favor flows in their life. Let nothing be broken and nothing be lacking. Meet all of their needs according to your riches and glory. Meet the church's needs, your bride. Meet the people's needs. In Jesus' name, we decree and declare it, and we call it done. Amen. We're getting ready to share in the ministry of giving tonight. We want to communicate with God our appreciation. We're going to do some so by our gifts tonight. Whether you give by cash, a cash app, Zelle, PayPal, or by card. Those are means that we are allowing you to communicate your kindness back to God for his kindness to you. What I realize is that the God we serve is more than enough. Tell somebody, say, he's more than enough. Father, I pray that you will bless